Buckeye Talk from cleveland.com back at Ohio State football's Woody Hayes Athletic Complex, where we just talked to Ryan Day and a handful of players heading into Thursday's season opener against Minnesota. Did not get any kind of indication from Ryan Day exactly how the running back snaps are going to get split up in the season opener. He did say Trevion Henderson, the freshman, the number one running back prospect in the country for the 21 class, did say he's going to play early, which tells me he's going to have some portion of the role on Thursday. Doug, what portion do you think he should have? How would you split up these running backs based on what we know right now?
I mean, I'd probably start Trevion Henderson, but nobody's asking me that. As we've talked about on Buckeye Talk on the podcast, there's a lot of teams this year that have veteran running backs and kind of more talented younger guys beneath them. And we'll be curious to see how Bama and Clemson and other teams handle this. I actually thought he kind of also established, while saying that Trevion Henderson's going to play, he also said we'll probably lean on the veteran guys early. And then he talked about how Master Teague and Mayan Williams both played a lot. And he was like, well, Master Teague's played. It's like, Mayan Williams has played like 16 snaps in his career. Why do we keep acting like he's some veteran? Yeah. But my guess would be, if I had to guess, based on a tiny bit of information that Ryan Day provided, my guess would be on Thursday, Master Teague plays the first series, Mayan Williams plays the second series, and Trevion Henderson gets a shot somewhere in the first half, but that is less than those two. That's my guess based on 9 words Ryan Day said on Monday.
Yeah, I would think it's kind of the same thing. Like 85% of the workload goes to the 2 veteran guys, and Trevion Henderson gets sort of mixed in. Now, what he does with those snaps could determine what that looks like the next week against Oregon. But I think this is all about this offense kind of getting its footing set and getting something established on the ground. We've seen this coaching staff in the past, kind of want those younger guys to really prove themselves before they turn things over to them completely. And I think there is some here. Some of it might just be rewarding Mayan Williams and Master Teague for what they've done. Some of it might just be wanting a freshman to have to prove it in a different way. But Stephen, do you see kind of the same thing, that do you expect what we see in week 1 not to be an indication where Trevion Henderson does for the whole season?
Yeah, I think the second quarter might look very similar to how the wide receiver rotation might be. He named all 6 starting wide receivers today, which is, we kind of knew it. Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson, Jackson Smith-Njigba, and then Emeka Egbuka, Julian Fleming, and Marvin Harrison are the second-line guys, where the first series of the second quarter is probably the first time we see Trevion Henderson, and it's probably going to be the first time we see, I don't know if we'll see them both, all 3 of them on the field together, but we'll see either Marvin Harrison, either Emeka Egbuka, or either Julian Fleming in the game as well. That's the first time you see some backline guys get in. And then, as you just said, what they do with those opportunities depends on how things going forward, especially at the running back position, maybe in the second half. Maybe Trevion Henderson takes advantage of those snaps and starts to build some momentum, and then you get into the second half where you've gotten all 3 of those guys on the field, and then maybe it's a game in the fourth quarter. You have to go, okay, who's the hot hand? Maybe it's Trevion, maybe it's Master, or maybe it's Mayan Williams. But that's who we see who is actually going to be the starting running back going forward is who's got the hot hand in the fourth quarter, and that's who they play until Trevion starts to establish himself later in the season.
Yeah, the big difference between those 2 position groups being, though, that with receiver, it really is just more about rotating guys in and maybe giving your starters a breath. In the backfield, it's more about deciding who actually is the best running back or running backs and deciding who gives this offense the best chance to move the ball. And I think you go into the season opener, yes, they're deferring to those 2 veteran guys, but I think Mayan Williams and Master Teague both go in with a little bit of something to prove, so does Trevion Henderson. He hasn't actually gone out on the field and done it, but everything that's expected of Trevion Henderson and the kind of the hype that he comes in with, it's sort of like the veterans come in the position that they need to show up against Minnesota and do something strong to kind of, prove that they're the ones who deserve those reps over the hot young guy that's coming in behind him. Get the text, 614-350-3315. It's $3.99 a month after a 2-week free trial that right now would take you up through that Oregon game at least with the intel and analysis that we're bringing you from Buckeye Talk.